play of the game from way down.
1, 2, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob Stasnico gonna find Rainer.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. We're in part 2 of our doubleheader tonight. We're going to be watching Bread Rising Yeast Sports versus Tiny Dancers, and the teams are just about ready to go here. Man, these dogs tonight, right at the beginning of the cast. Hey, chill, relax. Let's take a look at our standings here. So we've got Tiny Dancers sitting at number 6 with Bread Rising right behind them at number 7. 1 point away. A 2-0 domination here would put either of them all the way up into potentially 4th place. Bread Rising would be tied with Demonic Entity Within and Salt Scale Murgles. Tiny Dancers would be tied with Phoenix Rising Ruby. So I guess technically 3rd place. So very important match here. Going to be significant for playoff standings. And let's take a look here. Maps. Bread Rising Yeast Sports banning out the Cursed Hollow and Volskaya Foundry. Tiny Dancers banned out the Braxis Holdout and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And our first map is going to be on Battlefield of Eternity. And just letting them know that we're ready. I think they're actually both ready. I'm not 100% positive of that. Pretty positive. Seeing as how they've both said the word ready now. We should be good to go. And so this is Division B East. Now, I've not actually had the opportunity to play against these teams yet. These are 2 of the 3 remaining teams, I think, that we have to play against. That's not why I picked up this cast. I picked up this cast because of the playoff implications and how important this game is. It's just also a benefit that I get to watch it live. I'm not going to remember any of it, though. We're going to get to the interview, and they're going to be like, all right, so there's a question. Yeah. Question. Let's talk about that one play. You remember the play that the thing happened where the stuff happened and the person died? You remember that? And they're gonna be like, what? Gotta remind them who's got the button. Here we go, game number 1 between Bread Rising Yeast Sports and Tiny Dancers. It's going to be taking place on Battlefield of Eternity. Somehow, this map went from being kind of middle pack last season to being number 2 most played. Both of the Diablo maps, Battlefield of Eternity and Infernal Shrines, are the top played maps in NGS. Infernal Shrines was before, though, so that's not a big change. But Battlefield of Eternity has really risen in popularity, which is a little bit surprising. I'm not sure what to attribute that to. If it's, you know, the changes that we saw with the movement speed changes, the XP globes. It might be the XP globes, come to think of it. I don't know. Tomb of the Spider Queen, though, fell a little bit in popularity. So we're going to see an opening ban onto Garrosh. Where are we, BOE? And Ariel going to be an immediate ban here. So one of these teams probably going to consider banning Deathwing. I feel like Deathwing can do pretty decently here with the tightly packed corridors. A Flame Breath right down one of those can get so much value. Saw it yesterday. But if Bread Rising is wanting to either bait it out as a ban from Tiny Dancers, or if they want to take it, they'll leave it up here. And they will. Alarak's going to be the ban. And I know both of these teams play heroes that we don't see a lot of. I don't remember the very specific details, but they do play heroes that are, I don't want to say off meta, but they're off meta enough. They're just a little bit outside of meta. And there's the Deathwing. And this is why I think first pick right now gets so much value, is that if you're first pick, you don't have to ban Oriole. You don't have to ban Deathwing. Make that be the requirement of the second team to ban those out, to choose which one they don't want to face if you just leave them both up. So your ban strategy is very different if you're the first pick. And we're going to see Raynor picked up, so a good race hero, also potentially a good PvE or PvP hero. Team fighting his way into victory. And there's the Zul'jin and Li Ming. And Zul'jin is one of the ones that I was thinking of, but I didn't want to give it away in case he was going to bring it out later. There we go. So already pretty significant race here for the Tiny Dancers. Li Ming does pretty well, has those orbs, could go Seeker build. Very focused single target damage, but we're going to see Blaze and Johanna, the return picks here. So we've got one more DPS and a healer, and of course the healer on the side of Tiny Dancers left to go. I don't even have to change the Johanna, she's already on the list. Love to see it. Li Ming got him. All right, so the third and final ban here. The first ban the Tiny Dancers really gets the opportunity to take here, and they're gonna ban Uther. Now that's an interesting ban. Because that would have been a healer Uther. Because they've already got the main tank and their solo laner here. And they're going to ban out the Lucio. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know that I would have banned the Uther. I mean, he is good for burst protection. Li Ming. He's got the Divine Shield, which can certainly make Zul'jin's day a little bit tougher. But you also have another potential hero that you could pick into this, and I mean, if they took the Uther here, I think you could have taken something like a Gul'dan, or probably not Gul'dan, probably like Lunara, because what are they going to do about it, right? She just hits that splintered spear, and there you go. There's no dive potential here yet. But we're going to see a Yrel and an Anduin. So speaking of that dive, and Yrel, I think is a strong hero that has not gotten enough love from the people who can play her, right? The solo laners primarily. I'd be interested to see even if she might be able to fit into kind of a main tank role, but not interested enough to actually try it because I don't play her very well. Final pick for Tiny Dancers is going to be Murden, so they've got a very dive front line here between the Yrel and Murden, both of which have stuns, so there's very much the possibility of them diving in, getting a stun, and allowing the Zul'jin and Li Ming to just blow up a target. It wouldn't matter who it is. I mean, Johanna and Blaze would be susceptible to that, although, I mean, they've got their Unstoppables, assuming that Linehouse takes that new habits at one. But if they jump in, Raynor can knock them back. Chromie now has the opportunity to bomb right into them as well, although she can do that from anywhere. So we'll see. I mean, there's some potential here. We'll have to see how it turns out. But who do you guys think wins game number one? Is it going to be Bread Rising Yeast Sports? Hey, it fit. Or is it going to be Tiny Dancers? We got Bread Rising on the left, Tiny Dancers on the right. Vote in chat. Hit the drop down at the top of your chat. Select the team you think is going to win. And then hit that vote button. All right, let's get our teams introduced. Starting off on the left, we've got the Bread Rising Yeast Sports. It's going to be Duke of Sky playing the Raynor, Narina on the Chromie, Shenanigans on Johanna, McGibbles on Rhaegar, and Blaze going to be played by Linehouse. Over here to the right for Tiny Dancers, let me display those pop-ups again. Liddell going to be playing the Anduin. We've got Muradin played here by AG Silver. Materium going to be on the Li Ming. Yrel going to be played by Elijah. And Felderoth, the captain, going to be playing that Zul'jin. And we have the 4-man rotation looking for the potential gank onto Blaze, but Blaze isn't coming into it, and I think he actually even had his oil there for a moment just to check the bush, make sure that nobody was there. So far, no votes in chat. Guys, that vote counter is ticking down. Somebody's got to believe in one of these teams. Right? All right, what do we got? We got Recklessness here, right? So Zul'jin going into that mage build potentially. The block talent there for Muradin to help the damage from Raynor. Also potentially Crummy auto attacks. And speaking of Crummy there, she's going to get the time trap there onto Muradin and build her stacks up to 5 for the once again the first time, allowing her to get an extra clone. We also have that ace in the hole. Blaze did go into the new habit, so we'll have the unstoppable I mentioned earlier here. And at least for right now, Blaze pushing that lane up a little bit more so than the Yrel. Gonna be Dauntless here for Yrel, speaking of which, getting that physical armor. And look at how quickly Johanna falls. Half of her life in the blink of an eye. We're gonna see Renew here for Anduin, getting that extra heal over time when he gets an auto attack on a hero. And then the Force Armor here for Li Ming, giving her that extra mana regeneration to stay in the fight longer, to stay on that immortal race for a longer period of time, but also getting some spell armor. So that'll help against the Chromie. And with the exception of Blaze's on fire oil slick, there aren't a lot of things here that are gonna eat up those Force Armor stacks. So I think that's a really good pick. Chromie sitting at 10 out of 40 on her Q stacks. Muradin at 4 out of 25. And Zul'jin so far, just the one. Just a few auto attacks so far from Zul'jin, as the Shaman Camp is going to get picked up here first by Tiny Dancers. We see Raynor there working on it. And Rhaegar going to come up and heal him up a bit, allowing them to get their Shaman Camp as well. But with the Zul'jin and Yrel here, we're going to see a bit of a fight over this top camp, although the route onto Blaze interrupting the jet propulsion, so no actual fight. Johanna's coming in, interrupting the rotation down, though. No real damage for her to worry about either, as it's just Yrel and Anduin here, as Zul'jin hearthed back, wanted to be full mana coming into this. We do have Charge Blast here for Li Ming, so it's definitely going into the full missiles build here. And already halftime reached. Tiny Dancers a little bit behind, it looks like. We've got Bread Rising just slightly ahead. But now Zul'jin is on the map, so we'll see how quickly they can equalize this, although it looks very much like Bread Rising is gonna win this. So it looks like on a 5v5, at least currently, and that changes probably at level 7. At least currently, Bread Rising has the race edge, but just slightly. Immortal coming into the top lane. We see the the Blaze and Yrel going into the bot lane. Now, Yrel is doing some work onto Blaze, but he's got the ability to heal in that flame. So he's going to heal himself up pretty decently there. Both of them sitting about half health. Going to check back in here as they are just brawling, just straight up punching each other in the face here. Jet propulsion, the knockback from Yrel, and they're going to go ahead and possibly disengage. Blaze is very low on mana, so has to be a little bit careful here, as Rhaegar's going to get caught by the team. Anduin getting the first blood in the game up in the top lane here. And it's still just a just a duel here. Just, yeah, they're taking some minion damage as well, but... okay, so Anduin's gonna remain up here. The team's gonna rotate down, though. Gather the siege camp, and, I mean, this is a dead fort now, for sure. There's not anything that Anduin can do about that. And I don't know that they have enough damage down here to counter that, to get the fort down here. I actually wouldn't have minded if Bread Rising had just kept going there. You know, if Tiny Dancers wants to focus on this wall, that's fine. Get the keep wall. Like, that's what I would have done. Blaze is going to get stunned by the Murden, but not enough follow-up damage there, so ultimately they're a 5-on-4 now as Blaze is going to back out. He doesn't have any health. Going to head back up into the top lane there to deal with Urel. So that was a big value play coming out from Bread Rising. Tiny Dancers got the siege camp, so they got a little bit of XP, but they lost their structure. And here comes the second Immortal of the game. And now Li Ming has Seeker. Urel has Holy Avenger, so once she charges up that Avenging Wrath, it'll do 25% more damage. It doesn't have to hit a hero, even though that's what the description says. But we've got Temporal Loop already for Chromie, so if somebody gets out of position, they're going to find themselves a free ticket to the graveyard. Slight XP advantage here for Tiny Dancers, about maybe a quarter of a level or so. We do see here the Dwarf Toss, heavy impact, getting that additional slow. But Tiny Dancers electing to go onto their Shaman camp instead of to get onto the race. And Red Rising says, yeah, we'll take it. Already halftime coming up here. And there's no chance for level 10s here unless it's defensive. Alright, so it's defensive positions. So they might be able to get level 10s. This is a tough call. Do they send somebody out, get level 10s, push up either the top lane or even the bot lane, get that XP? I mean, they kind of have to. And they do. They send Li Ming. Not who I would have sent. I would have sent Urel. Urel's here. Shaman camp now going to be picked up by Bread Rising, so both teams will have their Shaman camps going, as though, although Blaze is going to head up to the top with level 10s. Here comes Tiny Dancers. The light bomb going out, but something's stopping Urel there. Maybe just the Sacred Ground not wanting to leave the area of her bonus armor. Here comes the Temporal Loop, and now Urel leaving that point is going to get the Leap of Faith out of danger, as about 30% or so of the Immortal was taken out by Tiny Dancers. But now we got level 10s on the side of Bread Rising, so now they can come into this. Hyperion's going to come in as the zoning utility here. Blaze going to pop get the cleanse rather, but the Immortal gonna get a huge stun onto Raynor and Blaze. The bunker's still down though, so Blaze is gonna hop into that and get 25 armor for a couple seconds. And Sacred Ground once again coming out here with Miss Harley Quinn Urel. Li Ming down in the bot lane trying to clear up the Shaman camp. Will get that cleared, and just some poke damage. Blaze trying to get what he can. Murden missing the Stormbolt is going to allow the team to back up, but 4-man jet propulsion here. Light Bomb is coming out, is going to get a triple stun. So far, just the Zul'jin, never mind. We're going to see Murden falling as well, and the disengage coming from Tiny Dancers. And that's going to be a Immortal going over to Bread Rising Esports. Heading off into the bot lane. The wall already down. And the fort exposed. They do still have pretty solid burn here. Li Ming can do pretty significant damage to this. So can Zul'jin. Zul'jin's sitting at 6 stacks on his base trait quest though. Hasn't really been in a great position to get those autos required to get that second cleave. Jet propulsion in onto the backline here, so both of them are going to have to disengage, getting some healing out of the Anduin. Temporal Loop coming on to the Zul'jin is going to throw out the guillotine, so Chromie's sitting at about half health now. And Hyperion's going to come in. It's going to get a lot of value here. Charging up the Yamato cannon, getting those extra blasts, and this keep already taking about 15% of its health just simply from that. Urel diving in. Doesn't have Sacred Ground at the moment, so has to be a little bit careful here. Murden trying to stay up near the Immortal. Big light bomb leap from the Murden as well. Jet propulsion coming in to disengage the team. Rhaegar has to get out. Yrel looking the unstoppable proc here. And Yrel has, yeah, she's got just Avenging Wrath for days. When she hits a hero, it reduces that cooldown to 1 second. Thanks to this level 7 talent. So still a tall order now for Tiny Dancers, as they've got just the absolute least amount of health you can have on the fort and still feel relatively confident that it's not just going to fall over at a sneeze. And all of their forts still to go. Top and bot are still up. Zul'jin sitting at 9 stacks now. Needs to find a way to get those up so he's got the additional cleave value here. Elijah making use of that stun, but not able to get anywhere because of the Iron Skin. Light Bomb is going to come out. The Dwarf Toss coming onto the Chromie. They do get a couple stuns out of that, but Chromie just not dying here. The Guillotine just a little bit too low as far as the damage. So both teams going to disengage. A lot of ultimates used there. Just the bunker left on the side of Bread Rising. Over here for Tiny Dancers, they'll have Sacred Ground, and of course they have Disintegrate because, you know, Li Ming. Short cooldowns, resets, all that stuff. All right, Shaman Camps once again going. But a little bit more value here for the Bread Rising team, as they've got both of those lanes pushing with catapults already occasionally. And with Yrel in the lane here, this is definitely in favor of Bread Rising. Murden had the temporal loop, but ultimately was able to make it out. Light Bomb is going to go out, secure the kill onto Rhaegar, keeping him from getting into the bunker. But now Johanna surrounded by the red shirts. Loses the unstoppable, and one more attack will get the kill onto Johanna. Now Zul'jin has almost no health, so has to be super careful. Getting hit by anything here would leave Zul'jin just dead. But they're gonna bring this down pretty quickly. But you know, so's Bread Rising, and more importantly, blue team has destroyed a fort. So at least for right now, and now this is in the defensive positions here, so I'm kind of surprised that this is going on as long as it is. The Bread Rising didn't come in sooner to address this, because this is now Immortal going over to Tiny Dancers. That chastise exactly what needed to happen to keep Blaze from pressuring the backline further. But Yrel's going to have to deal with that bot lane for the rest of the game. Stun going out, just missing the Rhaegar. But Zul'jin gonna get taken out by the Blaze. Being a little aggressive on their positioning here with a 5-on-4 without the Immortal up here. And now the Hyperion's coming out. The shield's already down on the Immortal. They're not... I don't think they even get the fort out of this at this point. Blaze gets that jet propulsion stun onto the Li Ming. Excellent cleanse onto Blaze, making sure that he's not stunned. And so, yeah, they get most of the damage onto the fort, but they don't get it all the way down. They will be able to get that eventually. I mean, Li Ming can poke that down, Zul'jin can poke that down, so they'll be able to take that eventually, but is Yrel in danger here? Does she know that she's in danger here? She's fine. All right, well, level 16's up for both teams here. But with the man advantage, or at least the perceived man advantage, Red Rising gonna get in, burn down this camp. And here's the 5-on-5. Zul'jin's gonna get time trapped. Disintegrate coming out, trying to burn down Linehouse, but has a big shield. Not a big deal as far as they're concerned. Narina, however, on the Chromie, gonna get taken out. And now, Shenanigans getting low on the Johanna, but there's the Ancestral. Keeping Johanna nice and healthy. So just the one kill. And is it enough to start getting some return pressure in this game? Can they make something happen with this 5-man? Well, it's going to be a little bit harder if they don't have 5. Urel going up to Soap, trying to push along. I mean, 20s are a long ways away at this point. And this wave is cleared. A little bit of a struggle. Tiny Dancer's got to find a way to get enough pressure, whether it's from kills, whether it's from structures. I don't think they're going to get it from structures at this point, especially if Urel gets ganked here, but I think she's fine. Yeah, Zul'jin coming in with that cleave helping out. 15 stacks here for the Zul'jin, so that does give Zul'jin the additional auto attack range, so that's going to help out a little bit. The stun onto Li Ming, though, slowing down that race for a couple seconds is absolutely huge, and that is let's see, yeah, it's enough to make it so that the halftime technically went over to Bread Rising. One additional set of arcane missiles would have put Tiny Dancers ahead, but they're gonna get the siege camp, the shaman camp rather, and with the defensive posturing, that favors them. That's fantastic for them. And Li Ming can poke this out pretty easily. There's the ensnare from Zul'jin, so bringing Raynor down to half. But Rhaegar's on the point over here. Urel's gonna get stunned and almost knocked out of the sacred ground. Here comes the light bomb onto 3, make it 2, but they both had unstoppables, so they weren't even worried about that. Muradin is in the avatar, having to pull back, getting a little bit low, uses the dwarf toss to get out the storm bolt. Gonna go ahead and get the stun onto Johanna, as that shaman camp in the top lane did take down the fort. But Urel's gonna have to back off and deal with that shaman camp now, and the catapults on core. Here comes once again that ensnare from Zul'jin, able to get Blaze very low, uses the bunker. The bunker's already gone. It went out quickly here. Stun from Murd onto Raynor, but they're just slowly losing the health on this Immortal. But can they get the kill onto Johanna? The stun coming out, but Ironskin is going to protect her. And only 3,000 left. Temporal Loop onto the Muradin. Does get hit by that Dragon's Breath, but he's pretty low. The mana bars on the side of Tiny Dancers pretty close to non-existent. They got to come back and tap so that they can continue this fight. Johanna's going to head up into the top lane and deal with the camp, and that's going to give at least a moment here for Tiny Dancers to get back into this fight. Try to bring this Immortal down. As we see Duke of Sky on Raynor getting very low. The cleanse going out onto Raynor, keeping him alive. And it's going to be the Immortal going over to Tiny Dancers. But can they get out? They cannot. 2 kills. Zul'jin and Li Ming. Now Urel. And they're looking for the Murd. And he's going to dwarf toss out. Johanna, however, is chasing down the Anduin. I don't think that Johanna can kill the Anduin. But the call is made to go for the core. And at this point, they don't even need to worry about the Immortal. They just need to all get to the core. And this lone catapult here, like MVP catapult right there. Hyperion coming out, gonna help Bread Rising to bring this core down quickly. That's gonna be game number 1 going over to Bread Rising Yeast Sports. Delta Sniper, thanks for the follow. Happy to see that you're here watching the next set. Really appreciate that. Wow, we actually, a whole bunch of people showed up in the last 10 minutes. Look at that, 6 kills to 5. It doesn't take, you don't need a whole lot of kills. 1 kill will get you an advantage on this map. I've seen so many games recently on BOE that had 6, 7, 9 deaths. And they're very even in the points, in the kills. But just like we saw in this game, the structures go one side or the other very heavily. So keep that in mind for what that's worth. All right, so that was Bread Rising. Go ahead and write down these heroes so that I can reference them later. I forget all about what actually happened in the match. I know Krino would be happy to see the Blaze pulling off another win in Division B. Blaze one of the top heroes as far as most played and win percent as well. Although I gotta say, at least half of the Blaze games are Krino. Let's see. So it looks like the Salt Scale and Jailbait game is also on game number 2. Wonder how they're doing over there. Check in over at that stream and see what's going on. See nothing. All right. Well, gonna take a short commercial break as we wait to hear back from the teams on where we're going for game number 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. The teams are ready to go. We are all set up. They did that one quickly, so let me take a quick moment to show you where we're going and also to give the appropriate team the point. So we saw Bread Rising Yeast Sports ban out at the beginning here Cursed Hollow and Volskaya Foundry. Tiny Dancers banned out, the Braxis hauled out, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 1 was selected by Tiny Dancers. It was Battlefield of Eternity. It was won by Bread Rising, so they are currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. Now, the Tiny Dancers elected for first pick. So we're going to go to Dragonshire at the request of Bread Rising. We're going to start off with a Johanna ban. Chat, you guys alive over there? Blink twice if you're alive. It's been a very quiet night tonight. What are you guys doing? Turn down the porn, watch the show. Enjoy. You know what I'll do? Hey. Oh, you know what? She's asleep. She doesn't want to come over here. Anyways, we're going to see a Garrosh ban continuing on what we saw in game number 1. Deathwing as well going to go away. Also continuing from game 1. Although I feel like he gets less value here than on like BOE, but I mean he still is a global, can still do a lot of work. Hey, there we go, Ronan. Thank you for making sure. I was thinking that maybe earlier when my chat went out in the when my voice went on in Discord, that maybe there was something like maybe it stopped the stream or something. So Thank you for just responding, making sure that I'm here and active. But we're going to see Garrosh, Alarak, the bans there. And that's going to leave up the Oriole and Liddell Instalock. And I don't think anybody had any question of that. I think if it was left up, it was going to be picked, even though it wasn't picked last game. So never mind. And there's that Uther that we saw banned out in game number 1. That is the support player showing for that Uther as well. Greymane gonna be the other pick. So probably a main healer with Divine Shield, I would guess. Tom Peace, good to see you. All right, going back into the Li Ming, but this time it's going to be Arthas. And that is their main tank player, so I expect that to be a main tank Arthas. What else do they pair with that? Do they pick up the Raynor to go with the Arthas? What do they put in the offlane? Are they going to put the Yrel in the offlane? They might put the Yrel in the offlane. So Arthas can slow the attacks of Greymane, but he still has to be in melee range, right? I mean, the ranged attacks aren't going to get slowed. Sylvanas going to be the third and final ban here for Bread Rising. I like that ban because she would get a lot of potential value out of her level 1 with that Arthas. And Mal'Ganis going to be the final ban here for Tiny Dancers. All right, so you got Greymane, you got Uther. Do they look at maybe like the Varian? There's no Garrosh for the taunt. Do they look at an ETC? Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the ETC. Oh wait, no, is that? Maybe they switch around the. I think they're probably gonna switch the Ana and the Uther. Or they might just take ETC anyways. This could be like an offlane Uther kind of thing. ETC going with the Mosh Pit has the Eternal Feast. Not if it gets taken away, though. A couple of ways to interrupt a Mosh. You've got the Crushing Jaws, potentially. You've got the Sleep Dart. You also have the just potential death coming out if you have a Mosh Pit, Eternal Feast coming from the other side. It's going to be Blaze coming in, so yeah, so I think that is going to end up being the main tank Uther off lane Blaze, right? Is that? Yes, okay, they did switch. All right, so don't know why it does that. Arena on the Orphea, and the rest of that looks right. Raynor, Oriole, Arthas, Li Ming, and ETC. Okay, good. Got it. All right, folks, we are all set for game number 2 on Dragonshire. Who do you think is going to win game number 2? Let's see. Manage poll. Is it going to be on the left, Bread Rising? Or is it going to be on the right, Tiny Dancers? You can vote in chat. Just go to the top of chat, hit that little down caret, select which team you think is going to win, and hit vote. If you don't hit the vote button, your vote will not count. Get our teams introduced. On the left, it's Bread Rising Esports, currently up 1-0. It's Lighthouse playing the Blaze, McGiblets on the Ana, Duke of Sky on Greymane, Shenanigans on Uther, and Narina on Orphea. Over here on the right, it's Tiny Dancers. They're looking to equalize the score. Feldroth on the Raynor, Liddell on Oriole. We got Materium playing the Li Ming once again. Silver on the ETC, and up in the top lane, it's going to be Elijah on the Arthas. So it's going to be ETC in the main with Arthas in the off lane. So there you go. I think, honestly, I think they could have gone either way on that, but makes sense. Level 1 talents. What do we got? Hammer the Lightbringer for the Uther. So he'll eventually get those reduced cooldown stuns. We got the new habits for Blaze once again. The sleep darts here, getting those slows, slumber shells for Ana, and ancestral strength. So more damage to heroes that are slowed, stunned, silenced, or rooted. We have a few stuns on this side, so also just simply the slows that Orphea provides herself once she gets level 4. There's a stun onto ETC. 14 auto attack stacks for Uther. Now on the other side though, we've got the ace in the hole. Much like that ancestral strength, getting value, getting additional damage when attacking heroes that have been slowed, stunned, or rooted. We've got the... what is this? Rhyme? Yeah, Rhyme. Additional physical armor. Gonna help out with the Greymane here. Prog Rock for the ETC and Power Hungry for Li Ming. Now, Oriel, I don't even know what the name of this is. Increasing Clarity. So she's gonna get additional damage on her Swift Sweep. Or on her sweeping... something. Sweeping Sacred Sweep. There we go. Over time, that'll increase significantly. Now, this is a cheeky, bold play getting onto this camp at the very beginning of this game while they have to deal with the siege camps. That's going to give them a little bit of a boost in the XP there. They're a little bit behind, as right now, Red Rising ahead here. 300 in the minions, but Elijah getting very low, almost falling to, oh my god, 7 hit points. Arthas is over here with the lucky rabbit's foot. Manages to make it out by absolutely with no health. But we do see here the minion XP about a wave in favor of Bread Rising. So there you go. The votes, by the way, came in at, I think it was said 50-50. And a big Li Ming org coming in on the Uther. Not quite able to get that Detainment Strike. It's going to be the Majestic Span, so extra radius on her Sacred Sweep. Going to help her to complete that level 1 quest. A little bit different than we often see. You see, in many cases, either Swift Sweep or the Searing Light, so the faster sweep, or using that Ray of Light to deal damage as well as heal. Arthas here going into Frozen Waste, gonna slow people even when they leave the area of his Frozen Tempest. So currently, oh, is Blaze gonna be able to flip this? I don't know. How does Blaze do? Probably in a straight up 1v1 fight, I feel like Arthas probably wins that fight. Li Ming clearing up the lane. I don't know if she's going to try to sneak in and steal this back, although we do have the rotation coming down from Bread Rising, so nice sleep onto the Rainer. But the channel is being flipped. Orphea going up to help Blaze to clean up the Bruiser camp, as Arthas now having to be careful about positioning. With the 4-man in the bottom here, gonna get the channel. The channel's gonna be picked up in the top though, again, 2v1. But Elijah's able to make it out once again. And we see here Uther making use of this Holy Shock at level 4, hitting the backline heroes with his Holy Light. Stun on to ETC, going in a little bit aggressively there. Pretty lucky, I think, that Greymane didn't quite get as much damage as they were looking for. That should have been a dead ETC. Rainer versus Orphea here. Both of them have the potential to slow. Although Orphea going into this Ravenous Hunger, the Chomp build. ETC going to get stunned by the Uther there. He's got that level 1 talent completed, so every auto attack is going to reduce the cooldown. Also giving him mana. Rainer is heading on to the point. Can he get this before? And it looks like it's going to happen. So the first Dragon Knight of the game is going over to Tiny Dancers. Arthas having to pull away a bit here from the Blaze. Probably sticking in there as long as he could to make sure that they could get that. And the Dragon Knight's going to take down the full wall in the mid lane. It looks like then, once that's done, heading down into the bot lane, punting Uther, giving him a free ride to exactly where they want to go. Speaking of a free ride, Orpheus is going to get taken out. She's going to get thrown all the way to the backside of that fort. No kills in this game yet. Almost 6 minutes in. Couple of very close calls, though. Oh, Uther gonna pull the Raynor in. Does Raynor get punished for it? Doesn't look like it. Has the minions there. And with the Uther gone, there's no follow-up stun. Level 10's online for both teams now. And I mentioned it earlier, there's not a lot of opportunity to turn off the mosh pit. You could potentially see the unstoppable Blaze if Blaze can either make use of the new habits or get a hand of protection from the Uther. You could see the Crushing Jaws, which just came up there, or the Sleep Dart. Those are the options. As far as the rest of our ultimates here, so Mosh Pit, we've got the Disintegrate, which we just saw, Syndragosa. It is, of course, going to be the Resurrect and Raynor's Raider coming in. Aside from that, on the other side, well, here comes ETC. There goes ETC. We've got the Divine Storm, Cursed Bullet. There's going to be the Bunker, Nano Boost, and Crushing Jaws. So it's going to be kind of on... Well, never mind. It's going to be kind of on, like, the Sleep Darts to set up these Crushing Jaws, I think. Good knockback onto the Uther. Uther's going to get a great Divine Storm, though. He's still going to go down, and now the reset's coming in. Can they get another kill? Looking for Duke of Sky. Greymane's pretty low. AG Silver on the ETC has almost no health, again having to go down. By the way, that was the first kill of the game onto the Uther, just about 7.5 minutes in. Oriole, very low here, is going to fall. Can resurrect, but they get the return kill onto the Orphea. Can they get the Ana? Because that kill's going to enable the next kill on Greymane. Tiny Dancers with a triple kill. And now, with a minion wave coming in, they're going to get value in this bot lane. They're going to send Arthas up to the top lane. That Bush Mosh. Indeed, Linehouse. Indeed. So not as much value in the bot lane as I thought that they would get, but because of the timing of the Dragon Knight, they wanted to make sure that they picked that up. So Raynor is going to get the second Dragon Knight of the game, and this one's going to start getting a little bit more value. The walls and towers are already down in mid and bot. So they're going to start with the mid fort here. Jet Propulsion coming into the back line. Going to see the stun follow up with the Disintegrate. Now the Dragon Knight's already at half health here. It's taken all the tower shots, taken damage from the heroes. Here comes the minion wave. So as long as Bread Rising can clear that out, which they're doing pretty quickly here, the Dragon Knight can't really push in for too long into that tower. Well, there goes Greymane. That's going to be very helpful. And now, with the Syndragosa, they can push in hard. Blaze did get the stun. There's a bigger stun here. We've got, I can't even tell. Divine Storm's coming out as Li Ming's going to get just obliterated. Triple kill. Make it a quad kill because there's no way Rain. Oh, wait. There's a Syndragosa shut down fort. He's not only is he going to make it out. Nah, he's not going to make it out. But he did go back in and get the fort. So there you go. If you're going to lose 4 people, at least you're able to get the fort as well. That was a great play from Bread Rising, turning that around. They had lost 3 earlier. They get 4 this round. And now they're going to do what Tiny Dancers had the opportunity to do. They're going to start pushing down this bot lane. And they've got some time. Raynor's not back for a few moments here. This is now a 4 versus 3, and they get the full wall and the well. So they equalize out what's been done here in the bot lane. Again, that's not to say Tiny Dancers did anything wrong. They didn't. It's just that the Dragon Knight came up. But even still, I think that they could have spent. I think they could have had those 4 heroes on the bottom fort there, and probably still been able to get the Dragon Knight. because then they have all the advantage. They've got the well, they got the wall. Bruiser Camp is going to get picked up here by Bread Rising, so that's going to be cleaned out right at the wall, but the Siege Camp is up as well, so that's going to be taken care of. That'll be going in the bot lane. Uther holding on to the bush, but Arthas thinking that he was going to get a kill onto Orphea. Uther says, nah. Let me show you my hand of protection. Also, an important note here, hand of protection is reduced, the cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds every time he hits an auto attack. So that's pretty significant. It reduces his 90-second cooldown to, you know, half or less, most likely.
Control both shrines.
Both teams heading up to their bruiser camps now, so those will be meeting in the middle here. Right now, slight advantage going over to Blaze in this one, up in the top lane, is there's no well here for Arthas to tap to. And speaking of Arthas, Arthas might just die. There's the stun coming in with the burst damage from Greymane and Orphea. And that is all she wrote. But Arthas is back. JK, says Oriole. Can they do the same thing to Blaze, though? Not really. They could have. They certainly could have. If they all rotated up when Arthas got a res there, they could have gotten that Blaze. But we're going to see these shrines flipping sides. Top is going to go over to the red side. Bottom's going to go over to the blue side. And this is a losing trade. Like, it's great that they're going to get this fort down, but that means almost nothing. And this means everything right here. And they're going to keep going. Why wouldn't they? Tiny Dancer's really, really losing the benefit in this play. So, okay. Oriole and Arthas coming around. Well, they're... Okay. So they're not going to be able to catch anybody. Well, Arthas will get caught by the Uther stun. Blaze is up in the top lane. He's going to be able to take that back. ETC, though, is getting bottom. So they're going to, again, flip those. One tower down, most of the wall down, half of the other tower down. So it's a good place to start for Bread Rising. But these Dragon Knights do get more powerful as the game goes on. So this Dragon Knight not going to be able to take a core out by itself, but you know what, the next Dragon Knight could potentially be enough to a level 20, 21, 22 Dragon Knight, which would be at 18 to 20 minutes most likely, is going to be able to burn down those structures. But you know what, catching the Uther out by himself is a great place to start here for Tiny Dancers. Li Ming did get the reset, but they're just going to gather the siege camp. Orphea is heading up to help make sure that top lane doesn't get picked by Arthas. So the siege camp's going to keep them busy for a little bit. And they're going to send... Okay, so just Arthas. And then ETC and Oriole are going to protect the bottom lane here. So they don't need to protect it for long, but ETC needs to not die for this to be value. And it's just not enough time here. Li Ming's not going to be able to channel that before it's going to flip. So good play there. Good use of the Cursed Bullet to dissuade ETC from that positioning. We see them rotating very safely off to the left, making sure that they can't take that. Now, if they can pick this up, Arthas could gather that, but not if there are heroes here. Orphea is going to be able to flip the top before Arthas is able to get this. And again, I mean, there's just so many people here that it's not even going to matter. But I like this play. Tiny Dancer saying, you know what, you're up in the top lane. This is our time to get damage in the bot lane. They're going to have a bruiser camp, gives them the 20 armor, the spell armor. Now, Arthas needs to be careful. Gets caught by the jet propulsion. The towers are going to be shooting minions. So there you go. All right. But they are going to get the bottom fort. So they got to get out quickly, though. ETC is in a bit of a danger place. Gonna get that stun, the knockback onto Blaze. Able to juke the jet propulsion and the detainment strike from Ariel, keeping ETC safe. That was so powerful, so important, because without that, ETC might just die. The question here now is, can Bread Rising get this Dragon Knight with level 20s coming up? Mosh Pit gonna go out onto the Uther. They're not gonna get it with that, and it's just before the level 20, so no Benediction picked up. And by Benediction, he of course has Benediction. No Redemption picked up by the Uther. So he's not coming back. At least not yet. Up. Arthas gonna get caught out by the full rotation of the team again here. But that said, you know, Oriel does have... Well, she's gonna have a Resurrect in 40 seconds. She already used it. And they don't have level 20, so there's no value on the Resurrect just yet. But this is still triggered for the blue team. There we go. Now, level 20 to level 20. This is where the game gets absolutely bonkers. We're going to see Resurrections coming out faster. We're going to see Uther coming up. Do they got to stall this. Okay, good. Yeah, Rainer's up top. Uther back on the map. Arthas has yet 20 seconds. Never mind, he's back. Right? No. Oh, that was just the cooldown. Never mind. I saw the timer go away on Oriel, so I thought that was the use of the ability. Either team at this point, I mean, both of the forts are down in the bot lane, and either team getting a Dragon Knight could potentially win the game. So the next team fight is of supreme importance. And again, Tiny Dancers finding themselves in the right place of this rotation, coming in, able to get this lane pushed up a little bit more. They can even see, let's take a look here. They can see Ana, they can see them leaving now, and there go the pings calling out that, hey, they're coming. ETC is going to see him rotating in. There's the Benediction from onto the Uther rather. The knockback is going to interrupt ETC. Big Death Mosh though. Look at this one. Can they get anything out of it? A lot of damage coming out from Li Ming, but not quite enough to get any kills. Arthas is going to be the next to fall. ETC's coming back, has the death metal potential again, but still no kills just yet. But with that, check out that res timer zooming down on that clock. Yeah, I told Mudge he should go cast that match. Gotta look out for my B East brethren. All right, Li Ming sitting in a position to be able to stall out. 30 seconds until Arthas is back on the board. There's not a lot on the map to do. And I'm a little surprised because Bread Rising had the opportunity. They've got the man advantage. They knew that at least one person was going to be going top and that the rest of the team was likely to cover the middle. So I'm surprised that they didn't try to push a little bit in that bot lane, maybe even get the wall. Uther getting caught by the stun is going to get the detainment strike. Oh, but he's just barely going to live. Can they get the kill? The Li Ming not quite able to secure that. And now it's a 5-on-4 until Arthas gets here, as Blaze showing up to the party. Gonna have the slow onto the ETC here. Now keep in mind, Resurrect is back up. They have the Death Mosh as well. Okay, they do get the stall. Crushing Jaws coming out, so here's that death metal. Can they get the kill onto Orpheus? She's so low, but so much healing is keeping her alive. Arthas gonna go down as well. Here comes the ETC, but the team is in full retreat. A big jet propulsion onto 3 in the backline. ETC's looking for more. He's gonna get punted away. He will have a mosh pit available, but the mosh pit's, there's nothing that he can do into the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight ignores a mosh pit, and it can just punt him away. He doesn't care. They're going to start with the mid lane. Arthas is up in 40 seconds. So that's a long time. But Arthas isn't their main dragon clear. They've got the Rainer. They've got the Li Ming. Can they defend this dragon? The keep is all but gone. I don't think there's anything that they can do about that. Good teleport from Li Ming, pulling the Dragon Knight farther behind the tower, so it's a little bit more in danger there. Some power slide going out, but ETC is going to get punted, so the keep is going to go down. The Dragon Knight's almost dead, but check it out here. Raynor going to get caught, taken out. Resurrect is available, so Raynor's coming back up, and Arthas is back on the map here very soon, but Crushing Jaws is going to catch Raynor, but he's able to sneak out of there thanks to that light speed. It is light speed, yes. Light speed. So they only lose the keep, not the game. Tiny Dancer's gonna head up, pick up their bruiser camp. Likely have an idea that the siege camp was being picked up here. So keeping that bruiser going in the top lane. They still have their fort, so this is constant pressure. Not constant catapults, but the catapults are causing pressure in the top lane. Top lane is not, generally speaking, your best bet. I mean, there's a reason they call it the Death Bridge. Here it is. Now, this is a great place for an ETC mosh, which, by the way, he has. And Bread Rising recognizing that, saying, we don't want to take this fight here. This is a terrible place for us to fight. So they're going to get the bruiser camp here, Tiny Dancers are. That'll give them a little bit of a team fight value if they do push in the lane here. Top going to be picked up, the bruiser camp here for Bread Rising. And we're coming up on 23 minutes. This next Dragon Knight is going to do so much damage that whoever wins it pretty much wins the game, unless it's like a 4-1. Like the Dragon Knight's the only one on the team. Because I don't think either team has enough to really burn it. Like, I suppose Greymane could probably burn it before it got there with Curse Bullet and all that. He didn't take the Curse Bullet upgrade, so wouldn't have it on a short cooldown like that. But the rotation coming in, Blaze is a little bit ahead of the team. And I like using the Raider to scout, right? Checking the bushes, making sure that it's safe. Checking all the they know that they're in a bush. They know they're in a bush somewhere. So it's just a matter of checking which bush are they in. Or if he's going to head down to the bot, gather that one. So they know that somebody's bot. Let's take a look at our vision here. So blue team can see basically everybody in the red team. They know they're all top. The red team coming down. Let's see. Can they watch for this bush? There's the danger ping, but they pull back. Good call. Good call. And the rotation coming up onto the blue control point here for the blue team. Bread Rising. As the red team clearing up middle and ultimately gonna have to clear up bot lane soon as well. There are a couple of catapults here. And Bread Rising saying, you know what, we're up here, let's knock this down. Let's get that catapult pressure equalized. And so now everything pretty well equal in the structure game with the exception of bot lane. Greymane's in the middle. Can they... The Tiny Dancers need to recognize this fact, because if Greymane gets that, that's going to be the end of the game. Almost certainly. ETC zoning them out. Oh, man. So good on the timing. They just barely get that. Li Ming's orb going out. There's the Cinder Gosa. It's not the upgrade, so no roots going out. Blaze entirely by himself pops the Unstoppable, goes into the bunker. Is going to have the armor coming out of that here. The nice Detainment Strike. Orphea all but out of this fight for the moment. Doesn't have any health, but Blaze is getting very low. Jet Propulsion's out just in time. Uther throwing out that Holy Radiance, given a little bit of armor. And we see Tiny Dancers heading for the siege camp. This is going to give the opportunity for everybody from Bread Rising to get healthy again. ETC still has Mosh. Crushing Jaws still available to interrupt it, so really has to be looking for the Orphea. Really, I mean, there are a lot of ways that they can do it. I mean, the Ana can sleep dart it, so I mean, there's that. Oh, and there's no vision here. Oh, he saw it coming in. There's the stun onto the ETC. Also has the damage reduction from that level 13. Is that well met? Well met. 25% less damage. So just the briefest moment off there. If ETC was there half a second earlier, then I think Uther gets dead there. So packing in here into this bottom choke point, Uther taking all the damage, is going to go down, but he is going to spawn here in just a moment. And look at this golden aura around him. I didn't notice that until Bahamut brought it up, that is the redemption summoning him back. So good on them to burn the redemption. That's a 3-minute cooldown, I think. 3 minutes. Cindergosa coming out. I think we saw the mosh, but it did get interrupted. They get the kill this time for good onto the Uther. So Uther's going to get a little bit of healing. They're pulling back. Jet propulsion out of 2. Li Ming getting very low, but it's Arthas who's going to fall. May see the resurrect here soon. ETC getting a mosh, but oh, it's the double mosh with the death metal. And there's the kill onto Orphea now. Blaze very low. Can they get into position to resurrect the cow? Here he comes. Will have that light speed. So this is a 4 versus 3. And this bottom keep sitting at about just a little bit less than half. Probably about 40% on its health. And as long as ETC lives, that cooldown is going to continue to drop. 40 seconds, dropping quickly. We're sitting at 27.5 minutes. Raynor's going to pick up the top. This is going to give Li Ming the opportunity to pick up the Dragon Knight. ETC's zoning out the bot lane. Bottom keep is at half health or less. And they need to be probably a little bit patient. They want to have Raynor with them. They don't want to lose Raynor in this. Like, if he cuts through there, that's a very big problem for them. Need to check that bush. They're not checking that bush. There's the Benediction coming out, looking for the kill. They had a big kill earlier when Tiny Dancers had the dragon. They've got Raynor going down super quick. He's going to have the resurrect coming right back, though. Jet propulsion onto Oriole. So if Oriole goes down, this is a big problem. Here comes the Cindergosa, though, looking at the kill onto Uther, and I don't think he's coming back, but they do get that counter kill onto Oriole. So still one healer on the side of Bread Rising, and the Dragon Knight, I mean, it's great. It's getting some damage, but again, I mean, we're 28 minutes into this game. That Dragon Knight should be pushing that keep. The rest of the team should be focusing on keeping the team off of the Dragon Knight, and then they just win. In fact, let's look at how much damage this Dragon Knight does. Dragon Knight does, what does it say? 1400 per attack. Look at how much it's chunking down that shield. They do get the kill onto Greymane, so most likely this is going to be game going over to Tiny Dancers. It just took a little while for them to get there. And look at the health on that Dragon Knight. That thing has 5% health left. If Tiny Dancers took even a little bit longer to get those kills, that Dragon Knight goes down, and all of a sudden they're in danger. They could potentially lose another hero and lose the game, but they pulled it out. They stuck it out. They were able to get the kills that they needed. They were able to then make their way onto the core and bring it down. 29 minutes and 1 second later. Not later. 29 minutes and 1 second to get to the end of this game. Let's see. Just checking in on what's going on. Hey, it's Valkymer. I didn't know you were here, Valkymer. I didn't know because you didn't remind me that I was your hero. Am I not your hero anymore, Valkymer? Did that happen? Why didn't I get the memo? All right, so again, let's take a look at these standings here because these teams are very close. They went into this 1 point away from each other, so it's no surprise that they are finding themselves in a best-of-3 match. Now, if you've been keeping track, I mentioned earlier here that Mudge, another Regen Phoenix player who has been dabbling in the casting arena was casting the Salt Scale Murgles versus Jailbait. So Salt Scale Murgles currently was sitting at number 5. Keep in mind, Salt Scale was like 2 games behind most of the team. I think Regen Phoenix Party Time had 8 games played, Ruby and Demonic Entity had 7, and then Salt Scale had 6. So, you know, they're right. All of these teams are right together. These top 5 teams are all right together in potential. So that's going to give Salt Scale, they 2-0'd over Jailbait. So that's going to give Salt Scale 16 points. They're going to put themselves back into 3rd place. But coming back to us. Hey, Red, welcome. How did it go? How was it co-casting with Mudge? Did you guys have a good time? Did you raid over here? You guys didn't raid over here. We didn't see a raid. You guys are making me sad. All right, looks like let's see. Looks like it's going to be Alterac Pass. And I'm not sure who actually selected this, so we'll figure out who's got map and who's got first pick. Yeah, I saw the score there at the end, Red. You didn't get to co-cast. Oh no. Aw, that's unfortunate. Well, we'll make sure that you get to co-cast with me again sometime in the near future when your schedule allows. All right, this was the pick of Tiny Dancers. So first pick being the king here, which to me is no surprise. Like I've always preferred map pick. I like to feel like I have the advantage going in, that I know specifically I have a plan, and I like having that last pick. I like having the opportunity to react to what they have. But not lately. The last month, half of the NGS season with the setup as it's been, I gotta tell you, I like first pick. It gives you just so much more control. All right, just making sure that the teams are... Oh, yep, that's nice and easy when they have the same portrait. Cool, love it. Teams are on the right side, so we're all good and set and ready to go. I'm ready to go. Maybe these teams are ready to go. We've got one team ready to go. And it looks like the other one. So here we go. It's going to be game number 3 between Red Rising Yeast Sports and Tiny Dancers. Oh lordy, game 3. Good to see you, Mudge. How was the cast? How did it go for you? I did see you said something about having some struggles with setting something up. Hopefully that wasn't too difficult. You were able to make it through. Wow, Red coming in, gifting all kinds of subs. Who's getting all these subs? Ulysers? Raven, that's not... Oh, no, that's Rain Evrine. Rain Evrine. My good friend Max getting a sub as well. DB Smiley and a Fishy. So, congratulations on your subscriptions to the Arrow of the Storm channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Red. You're a wonderful human being. I don't care what Recyclic says about you. Just kidding, just kidding. He doesn't say anything bad about you. He thinks you're wonderful. Went well, I must say. Yeah, I just wish I knew which team was red and blue beforehand. You know what? You gotta lay down the law, Mudge. You gotta tell them. Because it's in the calendar. The home team's on the left. That's not a request. It's a demand. Anyways, we got bans. Garrosh and Li Ming gonna be taken out. Oriole and Deathwing also going to be taken out. Pretty much the same as game 1, right? Oriole, Deathwing, Garrosh, and Li Ming instead of the Alarak. Oh, interesting. We'll have to talk about that, Mudge. All right, our first pick of the game. So game number 1, we had the, I was gonna say the Johanna. So there you go. We're going back into the Johanna. It was banned last game, but it's back. All right, we are changing mages. So going from Li Ming over to the Kael'thas. Alterac Pass. This is the Alterac Pass didn't see hardly any play, and then, excuse me, the statistics came out and said literally there was 1 game played in all of Division B on Alterac Pass. 1 game. B West, B East. 1 game. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, you know what? All right, let's go there. Nobody wants to play there. Let's go there. Junkrat Stukov. We haven't seen a lot of Junkrat as of late, and I'm a little confused why. I don't see any reason that he wasn't changed. I don't think that the other heroes that were changed were significantly changed enough to warrant him not being picked. His silence on his trap is still really, really strong. It's 2 seconds of silence. So yeah. But you know, I didn't radio HOTS this time, so big up there. What did I miss? Oh, radio HOTS. The getting rid of the visuals. Gotcha. Makes sense. Yes, everybody, welcome and enjoy your new doggy, your puppy emotes of Arrow Alpha and Al, which is good boy, because it would just look funny. It would look like AI. And Alice. And also your Regen Phoenix emotes. Should you be watching a Regen Phoenix game, you can certainly throw those out. Alterac Pass. All right, we're going to see Thrall and Murden. Thrall, I think, gets a lot of value here. Murden as well. So Murden was the tank in game number 1, I think, as well, right? Yeah, so he went that increased distance on his Dwarf Toss as well as the slow. Wait, Silver didn't play Raynor or Arthas last game, did they? I don't think they did. I think I screwed that up. Oh well. Going back onto the Blaze, and Duke of Sky going to be on the Greymane. And that's going to round out our draft for Bread Rising. Makes you wonder if... You know, Mudge, I believe that they do. The more that you know about a thing, the more it affects your decision to... All right, here's Murky. Murky on Alterac Pass. What are those? Shoot, what are those things called? Your cardiac arrest? Anyways, whatever. I was gonna make a joke, but I couldn't remember the name of the thing. Why can't I? I want to make a new poll. I guess I'll delete that. Could not delete poll. I want to make a new poll. End poll? View results? Guys, the poll doesn't want to let me poll. I can't poll. Darn it. All right, guys. We're just going to have to do it old school. Who do you think wins game number 3? Is it going to be Bread Rising Yeast Sports? Put up a hashtag BR. Or is it going to be Tiny Dancers with this Murky comp? Put up a hashtag TD. Let's get our teams introduced here on Alterac Pass. It's going to be on the right, coming off a long-winded victory on Dragonshire. It's going to be the Tiny Dancers. Feldroth playing the Thrall here. Elijah going to be on the Lucio. Silver playing the Murden. Materium on Kael'thas. And Murky going to be played by Liddell. Off on to the left, it's going to be Shenanigans playing Johanna. Narina on the Junkrat, I think. Yes. We've got McGiblets on the Stukov. Greymane going to be played by Duke of Sky. And Blaze on going to be played by Linehouse. And that is your Bread Rising Yeast Sports. Fishy. I always vote blue team because I'm usually on the blue team. But Murky. Can you really vote against Murky? Right? I mean, we gotta... This is gonna be a really interesting match. Let's take a look. What do we have out of Murky here? So it's gonna be a fishy deal. Looking for those bribe stacks. Can Blaze kill the pufferfish quickly enough? At least so far, it doesn't look like it. Junkrat's gonna be rotated on as Muradin and Kael'thas gonna get booped away thanks to that concussion mine, so no big deal there. But Greymane rotating down to help with the Murky. And they're gonna have to adjust, right? They have to make sure that the Murky cannot get the bribe stacks, or Murky's just gonna pick up camps throughout the game. Just in time to hear the Murloc. Well, you know, you gotta support the Murloc, right? I mean, it's gotta happen when you see this Murky. You gotta throw out the Murky sounds. So it's gonna be on Bread Rising to make sure that they keep their Null camp going, so that this Murky can't just sneak in, grab it, and go. Oh, we saw a taunt coming out. You know, in the last game, taunt ended the game, and it was a very bad thing. So we got to be careful of these taunts. A fishy. Oh man. All right, so back to the action here. Siege camp in the middle is gonna get cleared up pretty quickly. Doesn't actually get any damage onto the wall, but Stukov hitting that silence gonna make it so... Oh no, they killed the Murky, guys. All right, how much XP does Murky give? 98 total XP from a Murky kill. That is approximately, I think it might actually at this level be 1 minion. Makes sense. Murky is just about the same XP as a minion. Feels good. All right, so Murky going into that slime, so he's gonna want to start stacking that slime. Slime time, getting that additional damage, the additional slow. And there you go, Blaze. Now that egg is gonna be, or I'm sorry, the pufferfish is gonna get taken out. So, so with this Murky, Greymane doesn't get the stacks based off of kills anymore. It's based off of auto attacks. Please give us a sad Murloc noise to pay respect to Murky. I don't know that I can do a sad Murloc noise. Are there sad Murloc noise? Have you ever in the history of any Murloc ever heard a sad Murloc? I don't think that's even possible. Only casted Murky noise. You know what? I might have to try that sometime. I might have to try that. Just go pull up the Murky announcer, see how he does it, and then see if I can pull that off. I don't think I could, but it'd be worth a shot. So, as I mentioned, the siege camp here picked up by Bread Rising. They're not gonna let Murky get that camp from them. And this siege camp is gonna get some value into this wall, sitting about half health on the bottom tower. The top tower a little bit healthier, but it's still going. They still have all three of the minions here, and as yet neither team getting started on the camp. Big stun coming out onto Duke of Sky. Oh, Lucio is in so much danger, but they can't quite get the kill. Oh, so close. Not with that attitude. All right, so Tiny Dancer's gonna head over here, get onto the Null camp. And it's gonna be Murden here in the bottom. Now we've got Murky up in the top lane. I don't know how Junkrat does. I think Junkrat probably could kill the pufferfish. He didn't do any noises. What do you mean he didn't do any noises? Unsubscribe? Oh my goodness. All right, well, in the top lane, we've got three. They're looking for the rotation from Lucio, the big Thrall root there, and that's going to be officially the first blood of the game. Murky doesn't count. Good rotation from the Lucio Thrall to get that root, and you know what? And Lucio just said, you know what? I'm diving on this tower. I'm going to boop this guy back. We're going to get this kill, and they got it. Now. Never mind. I was gonna say, are we gonna see either team get anywhere close to this prison camp? But neither team cares. They want to get these level 10s. And that's, oh man, level 10s. All right, so what are we gonna see for level 10s? Is there a cleanse? There's no cleanse, so Octograb instantly becomes a possibility, especially onto a hero like Junkrat. Did Junkrat take Dirty Trickster? He did not. He took Sticky Wicket. Dirty Trickster would have completely negated the Octograb potential, at least onto Junkrat, who is arguably the most susceptible to the Octograb. But March of the Murlocs could get a lot of value, but it is going to be the Octograb. He's looking now. Level 10's up here for both sides. Going to be the Sundering, the Sound Barrier, Phoenix, the Avatar, and Octograb. On the other side, though, we've got the Blessed Shield, the Riptire, Bunker, Flailing Swipe, and Cursed Bullet. You know what, Ektar? Sure, I would go with that. If Murky dies 4 times, we'll give him the first blood. But there's the stun onto Bunker, or Blaze rather. He's going to drop the Bunker, so he's going to get out alive. Murky will be back here soon. Blaze still very low, but so is Elijah. Gonna use that Sound Barrier, but Kael'thas gonna get the kill onto Blaze. And you know what? The Sunder's just gonna knock that body up into the air and throw it away. Here comes the Riptire. Gonna get 3. Lucio having to pull back, and the Silence Trap onto the Kael'thas is gonna get him killed. Looked like Dwarf Toss probably went out there, so I don't think that Murden's got a disengage. And Murky did use his Octograb, I think probably on Greymane, because it was while all that craziness was going on. Now do we see anybody come to the camps? The prison camps? Nah. Maybe? Nope. Confirmed 0 objectives on Alterac Pass. Nobody cares about objectives. Confirmed Alterac Pass. Now just a brawl. Because, you know, there's literally just one camp, right? One camp on either side. There's no boss. Big stun onto Blaze, getting that Octograb here. And the Bunker going out, the Gravity Lab's missing, and Blaze managing to pop out on the other side of the entire team. Getting the jet propulsion out and just like Clown Fiesta right on out of this. Condemn hitting 5 heroes, I think. Jet Propulsion hitting 4. This is not looking good for Tiny Dancers. A huge Sound Barrier there. Is it enough? Silver's getting low, is gonna fall. The Sunder's gonna allow for that disengage. And Murky will be coming back up. Needs to be careful about that egg placement, though. And now we're gonna see them start on the prison camp. So Murky's gonna head up, working on level 13. Level 13 is where Murky gets a couple of options. With the slime build, I expect he's gonna take, I think it's called Fish Tank, where he gets the healing when he does ability damage. Actually, it's any damage, it's just straight up damage. Currently sitting at 5 stacks is Murky, make it 6 as he got 1 more onto the Johanna there. And here come the Ram Riders for the Alliance. Oh, that's what I should have said. Are we rooting for the Alliance or the Horde? Darn it, I'll have to remember that. Again, we never see Alterac Pass, so... Alright, primary commitment of resources going into the bot lane. We already have here the tower down, the wall down. I like fish. What kind of fish do you like, a fishy? Ram Rider's gonna make it here. Doesn't have a lot of minion wave though, so overall this could get brought down pretty quickly as, oh my goodness, great Cursed Bullet. Follow up with the Blessed Shield, locks down the Muradin just long enough. He's got to pop the Avatar to make it out. He is getting that second wind value now and needs a few more stacks of the Stormbolt at level 1 to get the additional player. It is the first objective, yes, Valkymer. And Let's see, level 13s. So actually taking the heal. So rejuvenating bubble. When Murky hits his bubble, he's going to heal for a bunch of health. I don't like this. Muradin gets caught by the root from Stukov. Uses Dwarf Toss to go in. What is this? Healing static? Do we get the double? Yeah, we did. Okay. Oh wait, is that? No, it's not the double. So interesting choice there on healing static and reverb. Arrow bias. That is true. That is true. I do prefer the alliance. Although this has just been such a good match. It's a best of 3. We're on game number 3. And these teams have been really close. You know, game 1 had a 1 kill difference. I don't remember. I think it was like 12-7 in game 2. No, it had to be more than that. It was a 29-minute game. All right. Well, bottom fort now going to be the next casualty. As the rotation's coming in, there's the completion there of the Stormbolt, the Sundering coming out, and Duke of Sky gonna get taken out. Greymane getting just demolished. But Johanna's still going in. Soundberry coming out from Lucio. Can they get this onto the Junkrat? Never mind. Muradin did jump in, couldn't quite get what he wanted, didn't have a Lucio boop there. And level 16 is now available here for Tiny Dancers. Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, Valcomer. Without the if you're gonna take healing static, you would think that you'd take the level 4 talent that does the proc on Thunderclap. And if you're not gonna do that, then I would have thought Bronzebeard Rage would have been the call. But this is what we've got. And Junkrat up in the top, so we're gonna see a rotation in looking potentially for the boss. They don't have any way. Well, I guess they do have Flailing Swipe, so they do have the potential to be able to knock them off the point. There are no unstoppables other than, technically speaking, Murky's stun. Murky's sitting at 9 stacks, needs 1 more. There it is. Now he's got the additional damage on that Q. And he's getting a lot of value out of it now, especially here with level 16 Toxic buildup. Every third auto attack onto a hero is going to splash his slime. So that level 4 quest should stack up a lot faster. Now, checking out... Let's check Murky. Does he have bribe stacks? I assume he does, right? 11 stacks, so he just used 1, I think. Maybe. Oh, here comes the boss play. And does Tiny Dancers recognize this? At least get over there and get the camp. Okay, they're gonna go for the boss. So this is not good for them. The boss is already picked up for Bread Rising. It's going into a keep. I don't even know if they have enough damage. Can Murky stall him out? I mean, that's what Murky needs to do right here. Is gonna stall out the rotation from most of them. Greymane is still gonna get up here faster than the rest of the team. So it looks like we'll be okay. The boss will get picked up. But with no top fort here, is there anything else that happens? And it doesn't look like it. They're just going to finish off the boss. The Heart's coming out. They want to try to defend this keep. I don't know. This is the prison camp. I feel like the prison camps have been remarkably undervalued this game. Neither team really wanting to go and fight over these control points at all. 3 kills to 3 kills. Playing a very macro intense game here. Keeping the siege camps going. Oh, Murky's gonna get it. First one of the game, I think, that Murky's been able to pick up. But that's gonna give them some extra value here. And it's gonna pull Greymane back. So this is the time for them to get in on the prison camp. Although their siege camp just came up as well. Root and Silence going out onto the Muradin here, so he's going to get about half health. Does have the Avatar, though. Blaze able to stall out the channel. Junkrat able to stall out from pretty far away, so you know, that's going to make it difficult for Tiny Dancers to get a prison camp unless they are able to get maybe even 2 kills. But we've got Narina starting it. Junkrat having to pull back, though. Here's the Octo Grab. Not able to get the kill, but certainly getting Junkrat very low. Phoenix is going to prevent anybody from channeling, but Johanna going to get taken out thanks to that Sundering. Was looking to get into the bunker, but couldn't quite make it. The Flailing Swipe is going to give the disengage now as Lucio popping that heal, amping it up, giving all of the healing to his team here. Murden going to get the jump onto the Greymane. He goes into his wolf form, so he's going to have that armor, but is not going to be able to make it out. A double kill coming out for Tiny Dancers. But again, lots of stall potential here from Bread Rising. Lots of stall potential. And that silence goes on forever until he interrupts it, so. Murden is not going to get the channel. Just stalls for days here. Murky coming in, looking for the Blaze. Does not have the Octograb. He just used it. Does get the Unstoppable. So Murky did complete his quest now, so that's an additional slow. But all the while, we've got damage coming in onto the fort. Mid-fort's going to go down very soon here. Probably, maybe, maybe not. Very close, though. But the channel started now for Tiny Dancers. About halfway, just about. Greymane is on his way. I don't know if he can get here in enough time, but Murden's going to jump over the wall there. Going to get the stun. Silence coming out. Lucio's rooted, so they have to be a little careful there. The stall is successful. Kael'thas getting that flame strike to keep it from channeling. 5 seconds left to go. The jet propulsion coming in. Double stun. Lucio going to fall as well as the Murky. Murden going in as well. Basically, potentially sacrificing his life to get that, but he is going to actually make it out. Can Thrall, though? I don't think so. Well, you know what? Murky's coming in. Is going to provide the zone defense necessary to keep Thrall alive. Now Kael'thas is in loads of danger, but he's getting a lot of damage too, and Murden's back. Requiring the bunker come out. Johanna's going in there as well. Great defense for this disengage. Only losing the Murky and the Lucio. The Wolf Riders now coming out. Takes 21 Murky stacks. It takes 24 Murky stacks, actually. It's 8 stacks for Murky. He gets a total of 32. It used to be 7, but they upped it at some point. It's been a while. The juke on the Stormbolt there. Johanna running in a straight line. But Murky is going to get this bottom fort as well. So all 3 of the forts going to go down for Bread Rising. And level 20s are here, by the way. So let's take a look at these. It is the slime. So Murky's going to have a 2-second cooldown. He's still at risk because they can still kill him fairly quickly because he didn't take Big Tuna Kahuna. But he does a lot of damage if he does survive. So there you go. Murky's taken out. Bottom Wolf Rider's going to get some damage onto the wall. So ultimately, structures pretty much equalized here. Now, with this 2-second cooldown, Murky can very easily take this camp without bribe. Especially getting that 40% heal. So now both bosses are on the map. And the teams are, in a position they could go get it. So we've got the Wind Rush there for Thrall. The Rewind for Muradin. The Eternal Master of Flames here. Eternal Living Bombs. The upgraded Sound Barrier. Bossa Nova. So 30-second cooldown. On the other side, though, we got Radiating Faith for Johanna. Kind of surprised that they didn't rotate down to that bottom boss. But they're a little bit too late. Looking for this big Blessed Shield. Does go out there. Lucio going to get the Jet Propulsion Stun. He's trying to get out. Murky's going to be the first kill. Murden very low. Pops the Avatar. The Flailing Swipe upgrade coming out. And Avatar might not be enough at this point. Never mind. Sound Barrier for the win. Can Murden get out? He's got to get that jump. Lucio bringing him in. Getting the healing. Let's check back over here as Murky right up in the face of everybody. And Murky's quite healthy. By the way, all of this time, boss going to town. And I think this is, I mean, go get the boss, guys. Still half health on that top boss. Or get the camp. Do one or the other. Actually, I'd say get the camp. Camp's probably more value. Especially as far pushed in as those lanes are. What else do we got? From Blaze, we've got the burn notice, getting the additional slow on auto attacks. A little bit more damage. We got the cannonball for Junkrat. And the tooth and claw, or Hunter's blunderbuss. Right. Yeah, I think they could have gone to that objective. Murky's gonna get taken out again. He's got a little bit of a walk from that mid lane. Orc Raiders, sure, yeah. There goes the bribe. Murky getting that camp going in the mid lane. And again, this is pushed up really far. If Bread Rising doesn't go back and deal with that, which Junkrat's doing that right now, that would ultimately lead to a keep. They're going to get their own siege camp in return. And again, they have super stalls. So this is really tough for Tiny Dancers without getting a kill or two. And that's what they're going to start looking for. Putting the pressure out so that Kael'thas can get the channel. They've got Junkrat still in the lane dealing with that camp. The pause button hit by Linehouse, but Johanna getting very low. She's going to actually get taken out. Murky going down. Lucio hitting in the silence here. Junkrat getting very low. They need to be careful about the suicide vest, though. Murden taking a bunch of that damage. And the jet propulsion going in onto the Kael'thas here. The channel once again beginning for Tiny Dancers, but these minions will stall it out. Lucio trying to stop it, but they get it. But now the mud pit is going to be another kill onto the Stukov. Blaze getting killed as well. A 5-man mega kill coming out from Tiny Dancers. They're going to get started on the prison camp. I expect them to leave Murky. They're going to go get the boss. Now, we see the GGs being called. I don't know that this is GG. These keeps are still up. They can still be defended. This siege camp is still going. The boss still has 60 armor right now. It's not going to be easy. But only 2 of these cavalry are coming in close to their side of the map. The third one's going in the middle. Murky may even lose his egg if he's not paying attention to this. Let's watch what happens with Murky here. Did they stop? Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Just in the nick of time. Now, this is with the cavalry, with the boss. They could potentially end here. But it's not definite that it's over. You didn't see that? Here. It's right there. Right there. See? Snag calling it GG. It's right there on the screen. It's hard to see, but it's there. Here comes the cavalry. Top lane is getting stalled out. Mid lane's getting stalled out now. So they've got a short period of time to make this work. Blaze throwing out the oil here. The concussion mine is going to put Junkrat back in base. But Lucio and the Murky going to get taken out. Feldroth trying to work on this bunker. But they get a bunch of armor coming out of that here. Jet propulsion on to 2 as Murden having to pop Avatar. Kael'thas using the Mana Addict for the shield is going to fall eventually. But the boss is on the core here. And I think that they defend this. They're going to lose everything for it, maybe. But with those kills, I think they can do it. They get the kill onto Murky again. Thrall coming in, looking to try to get this. And they have to be really careful now. Thrall dying here. Oh, never mind. I wasn't paying attention to the top lane making it through the wall. So there's the GGs. They officially make it. And that just goes to show you how easily, like, Alterac Pass can just swing in the other direction, right? Once you get those forts down and the armor goes away, the health of the boss is non-existent. But another very close match as far as the overall score here. 9 kills to 10. The structures were very much even until that last fight. These teams are very evenly balanced. Now let's reach out and see if we can get an interview. Oh, they may already be there. Who's that? That's not us.
Hey, hey.
Hello there. Welcome back to the chat. It's been a while. It seems like, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
45 minutes. Yeah, they weren't short games. That's it took a little bit, but yeah. So congratulations. I mean, you guys got a 2-1 victory. You know, it was a hard-fought victory over Bread Rising, but ultimately you succeed in getting the reverse sweep. So, like, how does the team feel after this?
I mean, exhilarated. Those were hard-fought, closely won. We were definitely cheering, so we feel really good. I mean, they played extremely well. It was super close every time. So, I mean, those are the best kind of games.
Yeah, it really showcased, like, I said at the beginning of the match that I thought you guys were very evenly placed, that it could go either way, that I thought it was likely to be a 3-game set. Obviously, it did. All 3 of the games very close in kill. I don't remember the kill count in game 2, but game 1 was like 5-6 or 6-5. Game 3 is 9-10. I'm pretty sure game 2 was similar. So
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that you guys are, you know, really evenly balanced teams, and I think that showcases just how well, like, our division B East is so overall so balanced, right? Like there are a couple of clumps of teams that are very close together, but overall, with, you know, as we see more of these teams or the flex matches and everything balance out, I think that we'll see, you know, a pretty even final set of numbers.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of improvement across the board with all the teams as the games have gone on and as the rounds have progressed. So I definitely think people are learning and adapting, and it's cool to see that happen in real time in a league. So
absolutely. So game number 1, you guys end up losing that. And again, it felt very much like it was either or, like either team could have potentially won that. What did you feel was like the defining moment for you guys, where things kind of started to unravel for you on that one?
In game 1, yeah, well, it was with the Johanna pick in the draft. No,
okay.
So we were gonna pick up Johanna. We decided against it. They played extremely well. That was the only game where we felt like we didn't win the draft, and the plan going into it wasn't clear. And we hadn't played against them before. And in their research that we did on them, they've had a tendency to do some unusual things: double healer, double mage sometimes. Like, they've done a lot of unusual stuff. So we didn't know what to expect, and it was overall just a frustrating thing where you feel like you were catching up the whole time. So it was I stepped out a couple times. My positioning wasn't great, and that they punished that really hard. They also had a plan going into it and executed it well. So I think it was definitely well earned on their part in the first, and it felt like just a steady decline on our half.
Sure. So, but then you get into game number 2, which is Dragonshire. Now, presumably you change up, you know, you guys talk, there wasn't a long period of time there, but, you know, yeah. Dragonshire was, I think, your guys' pick? Or did I have those backwards? Did you guys pick 2? You guys picked 2, so that was their pick.
Yeah. They picked Dragonshire, and we picked Alterac and Battlefield of Eternity. Yeah. So
when you come out of the Battlefield of Eternity loss, you're going into Dragonshire. What do you guys talk about to set this up? Do you just literally say, okay, it's Dragonshire, let's do this? Or is there any kind of is there like a coach, you know, prep talk, anything that kind of gets the team going?
We didn't have, so it was more about the fact that we had first pick, which I think right now the way the meta is, first pick is a huge advantage over map pick, because right now Ariel is like insta-locked, always banned. So that basically takes away one of your enemy team's banned, and it's almost the same for Deathwing every time if you're not target banning someone else on the other team. So basically discounting the entire enemy team's first, like their ban phase is pretty strong, and then you get to pick whatever you want to lock in at the beginning. So we felt like we not only had to put them on the defensive the entire draft, but we were able to respond the entire time to what they were drafting, and then that was ultimately what led to the Arthas, what led to the ETC. We held a tank pick, actually our solo pick, and we ended up switching our solo lane and our tank to put Arthas on the off lane. And we felt like at the end of that match, where we not only felt really strong with our draft and strong against the team that they picked, but also felt like we had a much better late game, and that we had a team that could capitalize on their kills and could minimize our losses with our deaths. So we felt like we were in a best case scenario. And then throughout that match, we kept seeing trades in deaths. They actually let through the Ariel, so we didn't care if we traded deaths 1-for-1. That was good for us. We ended up rotating a little bit faster than they did over and over again, so that ended up doing really well. I mean, it was still back and forth at that point, so they took bottom keep first and put us on the defensive a little bit. But overall, I feel like we won that game through rotations.
I would agree. And there were a couple of things, and you'll see in the cast that, where I thought there could be a slight bit more pressure, or, one thing being done instead of another thing. And some of those things are a coin flip. Some of those things are like, hey, no, this is obvious. You go do this. But in the heat of the moment, it's not as obvious, right? So a couple of those moments that maybe could have made that a 25-minute game instead of 29:01. But everything else I agree with you on. In fact, quite literally just before this game, I said almost everything that you just said. So, nice. It's almost like you took a tape and just hit play. That's just the way that this meta is right now. And then you guys get into Game 3 in Alterac Pass, and this is your map selection. I mentioned that Alterac Pass has not been played a lot in Division B. So what was it that caused you to want to come here? Was it something you were like, hey, we can do this? Or is it, hey, they're not going to do well against us here? Or was it just like, hey, you know what? Let's get a Murky game in, and Murky works on Alterac Pass?
A little bit of the Murky thing. Not totally. We feel like we had a good strategy on Alterac. We knew exactly what we were going to do, crystal clear from the beginning. And there hasn't been a lot of data on Alterac Pass, so it's like one of those I can maybe pull something over the other team kind of moments. So we knew kind of their structure and their priority when they get first pick because of the first game, so we were able to respond to that a little bit. They picked up the Johanna. We didn't care. That meant it was going to be a longer sustained fight anyway. They ended up picking their team, the long-range poke. Didn't care about that. We wanted the games to go as long as possible. We picked our damage that made sure that we were scaling really strongly late game. Thrall obviously has great late game scale. KT does good all the time. So we had a plan, and then obviously then you got Murky, who's just going to do Murky things, and put him in the opposite lane of the objective, and then it can last however long. I think we were level like 13 before the first objective was capped.
Yeah. So around there. Yeah.
We felt really strong about it. It was another one where we felt really good in the draft. We knew how they were going to react based on their first game, and so and they didn't know we were going. I feel like the Murky pick was a surprise for them, which is exactly the way we wanted it. And I kind of feel like that's the way you have to go if you're going to lose first pick. If you're not going to get that clear advantage by getting a meta character, you need to take advantage of the fact that you can have one pick that they can't counter and that will completely surprise them. And so that was our strategy, and ended up paying off. So that one felt a lot cleaner. I didn't feel like at any point we were extremely worried, except for maybe the last final fight where we're like, okay, did we miscalculate a little bit? But it ended up going well. So
for what it's worth, I was in that same boat when you guys lost 2 people, and I'm like, oh, now they might not get it. Now they got to be careful. And I was like, oh look, and Thrall's coming in to do whatever. I don't know that they can. Oh, the core just died. Never mind.
Oh, the core's dead. Yeah, it went from like 100 to 0 in like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was super fast.
No resistance. I'm just diving in on this. Even if they kill me, that's time they're not clearing, and then it does way more damage than I ever could. So yeah, it was fun. I think that we were we always felt in a positive position on that match, and anytime you can go Murky, that's always annoying and really fun. So
sure. Well, good deal. Absolutely, fantastic games. I'm so glad that I picked this up to cast. I really wanted to showcase this because I thought it would be a really good match, and it was. So, you know, great job to you guys, to Tiny Dancers, to Bread Rising, to both teams here on this. Before we get to shoutouts, any particular moment that you felt, whether it was something you did or your team or the enemy team did, that was a you know, especially cinematic or highlight moment of the night?
Yeah, in the last match, we were at their shrine. It was closer to the end. It might have been the second to last or the very last. It was the very last objective. And Johanna was a little bit up, and Murky was in there doing a lot of damage and distracting. And then there was like this point of perfect clarity where Johanna was at like a third health and it just dropped her unstoppable. And KT and I, without any coordination, like threw our ults at the exact same millisecond. And it was just like oblivion. They were boom, gone. And so we were all like, woo, going out of that. We're like, it's a moment where you're like, okay, everyone on their roles, they understand what's going on. We are responding without, you know, having to talk to each other, which is a really good feeling. So those kind of moments when it really pays off and no one had to even say anything is always nice to look back on. So
good deal. All right, well, any shout outs you'd like to make? Fuller's yours.
Absolutely. Shout out to our team. First and foremost, we've, you know, I've grown a lot together, and I've worked on a lot of stuff, and we've won a lot of games and lost a lot of games, and kept great attitudes throughout all the positive criticism and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really happy with the people that we're with, and we're really gelling, which is great. And then shout out to you for casting, and shout out to our families for letting us do this. I know that we have some sick kiddos in a couple households, and a lot of people have been feeling under the weather, and we're still doing this, and yeah, I've given some time, which is really great. So that's all I got. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me, Feldroth, and again, congratulations on your victory. Don't forget to report your match, and good luck in the rest of your season. Just a little bit less luck in your last match of the season, okay? Just a little bit, like 99% luck.
I think we've been saving all our luck, so I got a lot stocked up.
All right, good deal.
Right.
We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Peace.
All right, that's going to wrap us up for the night. I'm going to send you guys over to Bahamut. He's got another match going here. It was a late night match between Soak Every Lane and Who Knows Gaming. So that's going to be a B West match. Seems perfect, right? Soak Every Lane currently is a number 3. Who Knows Gaming at number 6, but Soak has done 8 games. Who Knows Gaming at 6. So this is a very important match here. Only 2 points separating these teams. Who knows where this will come out. Thanks again for joining me, everybody. I do want to say once again, thank you to Red for the community subs there. 5 subs for you folks out there, and I hope you enjoy your emotes. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow for some more NGS casting. I don't remember who I'm casting tomorrow, but I think there are 2 games coming tomorrow. Yeah. Have a good night, folks. We'll see you soon.